Haldol wakes you up. They call it schizoaffective disorder bipolar type. Another doctor called it schizophrenia. Well, he wasn't a doctor. It was more like a psychologist. And to tell you the truth, the Haldol wakes you up. It's called Haldol Paradol. They usually give Congentin with it, which is for side effects, so your leg doesn't cramp up. But what I really want to say is that it wakes you up. The whole world is asleep. And to tell you the truth, I'm starting to call them sleepwalkers. Because they'll wake up for minutes, hours, every 3 months, every 6 months. And like, can I prove it? How can I prove it? Well, I take Haldol. I take an injection of 200 milligrams of Haldol monthly. It means it lasts a whole month. The thing about that is that it's supposed to stop voices and hallucinations. It doesn't stop the voices. It doesn't stop the hallucinations. It just limits them. Like, you see less. And you get weird dreams all the time. Almost like prophetic. Like, almost like, what might I say? Like programmable. Almost like you can see yourself going to jail before you go to jail. You see yourself getting sick before you get sick. Stuff like that. Like
He was in a different league from the rest of us.
psychic. Like psychic energy. But what I really want to say is the sleepwalkers. People who are asleep. And the science of the Haldol is supposed to get rid of the voices and the hallucinations. And all I know about it is that it blocks brain receptors. They call it a chemical imbalance. But what it really does is wake up the body. It wakes up the body where you're awake every day. I know today's the 27th. Well, actually the 28th, because, like, let me check my clock. It's 1:15 a.m., so it's the 28th. It's actually Monday. I've been marking my calendar every day, putting a circle on every number, because I woke up and I figured out the whole world's asleep. I used to be asleep. They wake up every 3 months, 6 months, up to a year. People drive while being asleep, but almost like in a trance. And how do I know this? Because I used to be like them. I never took the Haldol. Would I go back to the way I was? Yes, I would. It's not worth to wake up because there's hell to pay. You know? We're all going to hell. There is no God. And how do I know this? It's nowhere to be seen. They're just stories in the Bible. They can't prove anything. You might say it's blasphemy, but that's just a word. You can die for shit like that, for calling somebody, like someone calls you a blasphemer, saying that there's no God, no Jesus, no Holy Spirit. All they say is blasphemy, that you're against God, but there is no God. Where is He? There is no God. Hell is real, though. Eternity's real. We're all gonna live forever, because in a way we're all gods, but we have bodies. And what does that mean? Rebirth. If you're not like in animation, like suspended animation, like a dream, like world state of mind, for to say someone kills you in animation, you won't die, because animation. Waking up to the other side is what's difficult. How do you get out of animation? It's like suspended animation, where you're in a dream-like state. What does that mean? It doesn't really matter. That part doesn't really matter. But what I really want to say is that it's not worth it. The Haldol is not worth it. And these doctors are making a big mistake waking people up. They're setting themselves up to wake themselves up too. It's not worth it because you're always hungry. If you don't have enough money, because the medicine doesn't let you work, you can't work right. Especially if you have a sleep disorder and you can't function because you're always in bed, or you're not sleeping enough, you don't have the energy, or you're only waking up at night or during the day and not being able to work. What do you do? What do you do if one day you run out of money? Steal. That's all you can do. Steal and go to jail, but not every country is lenient like that. In the United States, if you steal food from a grocery store, that's the biggest problem from waking up. Knowing what to eat. Because when I was asleep, I wouldn't really care. I would just scavenge whatever I'd buy or whatever my mom brought from the grocery store, and I would hardly eat. They say I have an eating disorder, but it's more like, who gives a shit? Because I wouldn't feel the hunger. Because when I was asleep, I don't know if anything would feel. I wouldn't feel the hunger. But when I would wake up, I would feel the hunger. And I would just eat anything I could, and I wouldn't really feel the hunger. Because I'd go back asleep, and I was getting skinnier and skinnier and shit like that. And it's not worth to wake up, because you know everybody's going to hell. That means they're always going to find a body. If they die, decompose, and rot, in the future they'll have another body, like rebirth, or maybe another solution. If the future advances, maybe in the future we won't give birth. Like women won't give birth and be born, and us being born, maybe it'll be a different future. You never know, unless birth is the only way, and that's how you'll know if you rot and die. Somehow you'll enter another body and be born again, if that's the only way for the universe to live, like people and animals and plants and stuff like that, by seeds, by pollination, like bees and stuff like that, or natural waste by the air, like pollen and stuff like that. But all I know is that people are asleep, and I'm like the only person that's awake. I can't find another person with my story that say, yeah, I take Haldol, I woke up, I can mark the calendar every day. It's impossible to mark a calendar every day because you will forget. Asleep, you cannot mark a calendar. Only I can. I'm like the only person in the world that can mark a calendar, put a circle for every day. Like right now, I know today's the 28th, Monday. Today's the 28th, I have a calendar, and I just marked it. I've been marking every day since the first, maybe a few days last month, since I got the calendar. And I know that nobody can mark a calendar because they're asleep. It's impossible for them to function, to mark a calendar. It's impossible for anybody in the whole world to mark a calendar. Circle a day, day by day, circle a day. You can look at a calendar, you can check the date. That's somebody shows you. Or people who wake up thinking they know a calendar because they know Christmas is coming. They know Halloween's coming. But it doesn't mean they can live every Halloween. It doesn't mean they can live every Christmas, because I didn't live every Halloween. I didn't live any Christmas before the Haldol. I never lived any of that. And what are these people? They're sleepwalkers. They're sleepwalkers. They're all sleeping. And that's like the best way to live, because you suffer less. So these doctors are making me suffer by waking me up. And it's like not fair that I have to wake up when all I can do is, they say I'm dying if I don't take the medication. But if I'm dying, that's none of their business. That's me. What they really care about is money. I don't really think they care about these people. Or they care about something else, to be around people for sex. Like I've seen like staff members work for people where they shower me because I wasn't taking the medication at the state hospital. And even women want to shower me. And there was a certain woman, there's been 2 women who've noticed me. I won't say their names because one of them told me not to put her on the internet. But she wanted to kiss me after I asked her for a kiss because she was flirting with me. She was very friendly with me. So I know a lot of these people, they want to have sex with you as a patient and them as a more professional profession. And the other woman, she was like a nurse. She was working at the state hospital, and she looked at my dick and said the word verga, saying cock, like pointing at my cock with her face, like she wanted me, even though she had like a fiance or was already married or she was gonna get married. And she was pretty, but all I know is like these people like they want to get near people. Like I don't really think they're professional to get near people. It's more professional to have work in construction or like jobs where you actually work hard, not just pretend to be smart and wake people up without knowing. And these people wake people, these psychiatrists, psychologists, they recommend to get Haldol, and they wake you up without knowing, and they don't even know what you're saying. They don't comprehend that I'm awake because they injected me with a medicine that blocks receptors, making my body not sleep, my brain not sleep, where I wake up and know that they're asleep. And what does that mean? It means they do a trick without knowing they do a trick. They try to stop voices and hallucinations, but they don't stop the voices and hallucinations. They don't stop the dreams. And if they do give you dream pills, they make things worse. They can make you suicidal, homicidal. And they don't say this to the judge, but every time they go to the court, they never said we made this person homicidal, suicidal for a long time. They think that they can just give you any medication, like I've been on like a few different medications and they suck ass. I've been on Geodon, Risperdal, Abilify, Cyprexa, Prolixin, and I don't remember the other one, maybe another one. I swear that, and the Haldol for now, which is the best one because I don't get suicidal, I don't get homicidal, and all it does is wake me up and it sucks. That's why I'm not gonna get my green card, and because I just want to go to Mexico. I was in Mexico and they kidnapped me. They made me go to a state hospital after I was free in Mexico, because I escaped from a state hospital. Like they let me out for the day, and they said if I misbehaved, they were gonna bring me back to the state hospital. So I decided to flee the country. And I was free for like 6 to 9 months. I wasn't taking time. I wasn't marking time because I was asleep. But I would wake up a few times, and time by flew really quick when I was asleep. But I was eating, but I was getting really skinny from the very beginning. I don't know if I died of starvation and got brought back because it was animation, and you can't really die in animation. Like something. Almost like the stars aren't real, the sun's not real, the world's not real, and there's something keeping us down because they know that if we grow, like almost like this is in our body, like we're something else, like giants really do exist or something like that, is what the voices tell me, that I'm a giant and I weigh 500,000 tons, like 1,000,000 pounds, and I'm as big as Salt Lake City. But that's a different story. That's just what they say. That they tried to prevent me from growing, and they would like put metal plates on my head so I wouldn't grow, and all over my body so I wouldn't grow. So growing is a big thing. Why they put you in animation? Because they don't want you to grow and be powerful. But I know they're sleepwalkers. It's not worth to take the Haldol, fight it, flee the country. I can't flee Mexico because everybody knows where I'm at. If I go to Mexico, everybody snitches. There's snitches everywhere. If you act a little bit abnormal, if you take your clothes off, it's illegal to take your clothes off. Like, you can't be free. Like, I think you should be free. If I want to take off my clothes, being all ill and shit like that, I have every right to. You know, like, without getting arrested. It's just a body. All I know is that they're sleepwalkers. Nobody's awake. I'm the only person who can mark a calendar in the whole world. I'm the only fucking person in the whole world that can mark a calendar. Try it, and you won't be able to because you're asleep.